In the social media reaction genre, silly comments are considered especially heinous. At Dear Woke Christian, the dedicated content creators who investigate these horrible comments are members of an elite squad known as the Dusty Comments Unit. These are their stories.
So developing right now across the country, activists are urging people across our country to boycott Target stores. Here's a look at some of the protests outside of a Target in Las Vegas earlier today. The groups are speaking out against one of President Trump's executive orders that rolled back.
I think it's interesting, just a side note, I'm noticing how the different protests, left-leaning protests, generally become a conglomeration of a lot of different ideologies. So you see people arguing for Black rights. There's Hispanics, and I'm sure if we look long enough, we'd find some other people groups as well. It just seems very interesting that usually left-leaning protests they're not usually monolithic in their approach. There's usually a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Ukraine flag out there, or an Iranian flag, or a Palestinian flag, whatever, because they don't bring together. They have to bring people together of different ideologies. It's not really a true organic, we want to protest one topic or discuss one topic. Just something I noticed.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. They're also upset about Target's decision to end its own DEI initiatives. And those Target protesters are now being heard here in Georgia. One Metro Atlanta church leader says that he's calling tens of thousands of Black people of faith to also boycott Target. 11 Live's Erica Murphy has the latest details on his faith-based call to action and how long it's expected to last.
Pastor Jamal Bryant of New Birth Cathedral in Stonecrest is calling on Black Christians, at least 100.
All right, and you see it right here. So a lot of people have wondered, like, this church's logo is the BLM logo. They have the BLM logo incorporated into the church's logo. Make that make sense. That has got to be the craziest thing ever. So you already know how they get down. You already know how they teach. You already know where their focus and their aim is. Literally in the title or in their logo is the Black Lives Matters logo.
1,000 of them to stop shopping at Target after the company, along with others, announced the end of DEI programming.
Black people spend $12 million a day from Target. And just as we saw the impact from the Montgomery bus boycott, when we begin to impact dollars, then other people start using common sense.
This is Sharon Houston's first time visiting the church. She says she's impressed with the boycott and thinks it pulls on historical events.
This new initiative of boycotting Target is just a movement that's continuing the MLK movement.
Pastor Bryant knows that many people make Target runs and plans to provide those who participate in the 40-day Target fast with 300,000 Black-owned alternatives.
So I know people need to buy toilet paper, need to buy detergent, need to buy underclothes. You can do it all from Black vendors. If we're able to do it for 40 days, then I think it's going to make a marketable impact.
Houston says she's on board and plans to enlist her friends and family.
I shop at Target. Not anymore.
The 40-day boycott of Target runs from Ash Wednesday, March the 5th through April the 19th. Reporting from Stonecrest, Erica Murphy, 11 Alive News.
How many of those people there do you think know that during the Montgomery bus boycott, there were Black bus companies, there were Black taxi services, there were Black cab services and such like that, that actually were choked out because everybody was focusing on getting on the main line, the main bus system, rather than supporting the individuals and the other small businesses. I'm just wondering, do they know that? So actually the Montgomery bus boycott didn't do what they thought it would do, because once the boycott was over, everybody immediately flooded into the mainline bus system and those small businesses languished. Just something I don't think they pay attention to.
Also developing, Georgia's NAACP posted on X saying that Georgia Tech is also removing its DEI policies. However, Georgia Tech responded by saying they began discontinuing those programs back in 2023. Of course, we're going to have a lot more on that coming up tonight on 11 Live News at 11.
I think that's telling because
Metro Atlanta pastor now calling for the Black.
I think that's very telling that Georgia Tech had started dialing back its DIE propaganda 2 years ago, and the NAACP didn't even realize it. But they can get in their feelings about it, which is amazing to me. All right, let's jump in here because we're going to look at what's the outcome of Jamal Bryant and this false, phony, and fake boycott that they're running. What has been the net result? Look at what the unsaved world, the non-Christian world, the non-churchianity experience. What do they understand about what Jamal Bryant is doing? Let's go. Roland Martin, here it comes. Let's go.
Well, the folks at We Are Somebody, go by the Strike for All on social media, started their boycott of Target on Saturday. We had, of course, Nina Turner, this is her organization, had her on the show on Friday. But on Sunday at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, Reverend Jamal Bryant unveiled the religious leaders' response to economic empowerment. So listen to what he announced yesterday at church.
Calling the conscientious Christian community all over this country, the conscientious Christian community all over this country, I am calling for a 40-day fast from Target. Beginning on March the 5th. 100,000 conscientious Christians. You don't have to be black, Latino, Asian, white, 100,000. You're going to sign this commitment to be a part of this 40-day fast. 100,000 of you bare minimal. I'm asking you that after service, you'll go to targetfast.org. Targetfast.org. I want you to share with everybody on your job, every person in your home, every person in your sphere of influence, every person who follows you on social media. I am believing for 100,000 people are going to sign.
When you think about the fact that the majority of people who benefited from DIE programs were not black, but you notice that black folk are the only ones doing this, that's got to make you wonder. That's got to make you wonder, like, what? Why are you doing this if it's only going to benefit other people? Just wondering. I'm only wondering, because you're telling me that this is not akin to the 60s and Jim Crow. So don't even waste your time. That's a time wasted. What's the purpose of this? Let's go.
And this covenant commitment of not just prayer, but fasting from Target. Here's what is amazing. Listen to me, because what we learned from the Montgomery bus boycott is that racist America doesn't respond to speeches. They respond to dollars. Come on, and if they start losing $29 million a day for 40 days, we will break the back of the system. I want
to again, people got up on a Sunday to hear this. What did they
go on record that not only am I asking you to fast for 40 days from Target, I am telling you to sell all of your Target stock. I want the stock to go down because we are standing in righteous indignation against racism and sexism in this nation. I hear the naysayers, I hear the pundits, I hear those who are detractors saying, how will this impact our black businesses? I'm glad you asked. You at New Birth, you're not at their church. So there's a
And I've said this before, and the foolishness, I might not watch the whole thing with Roland Martin. The foolishness of this is that black people don't have in place systems to support this. They don't have systems in place. We don't have a rich situation. We say, hey, I know you work at Target, but you can come work over here and get paid the same amount, the same roles and responsibilities. You don't have to work at Target. We don't have that. So the people that need jobs, that really go out and do something gainful, employ, and don't be fronting and faking the funk in a false, phony, fake church every Sunday, they actually have to go to real jobs. And so by you crashing the system and selling the stock and such like that, you're actually hurting those people that you allege that you're helping. It's kind of like where the scriptures say that even the kindness of the unjust is wicked. This is what we're talking about.
consequence when it is that you register to be a part of this 40-day fast. We have come into partnership with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. National Black Chamber of Commerce CEO is here with us on today. Brother Busby, would you please stand? Thank you so very much for being with us from Washington, D.C. Listen to me very carefully. When you register for this fast, we will send you a digital directory of 300,000 black businesses in America, where you can do your business instead of going to Target. Y'all not saying anything to me. You can buy black-owned paper towels and toilet paper and soap and dishwashing detergent. Do you know what it's going to be for America when we start shifting our own economic ecosystem and start investing in ourselves? Let me
But
further.
we don't do that. That's the thing. We don't have the systems in place. So again, this argument, and please understand, and we've looked at it already, the black-owned businesses that are on the shelf at Target, they're going to be suffering. Because please understand, Pam and Becky are not going to go buy Shea Moisture. Please understand, they're not running out there to buy, they're not running out there to use black products. So those products are going to languish on the shelf because the black people, the audience that this is geared toward, is not going to be there to buy it. You're going to bankrupt them. You will bankrupt them because their product, those 8, 9, 10 SKUs that are on the shelf that are not getting picked up, they're going to end up having to pay for that. And again, Jamal Bryant is just so big-brained, so intelligent that he didn't know this, I guess. I don't think he did. I'm going to give him the benefit. I don't think he did because I think he's an activist. He doesn't, these things are not, there's some forethought and some legwork that has to go in. Like, wait, hold on, wait. There's 10,000 Target stores and everybody has products in Target stores. How are they going to get those products moved from Target to the online vendor or whatever you're trying to do? And by the way, we don't have an online vendor situation. So you're still going to have to go through the shipping means that are out there. So you're not taking it away from the system. You just put it in a different pocket. That's all you're doing. Okay, let's go.
Say to all of the black vendors who presently have products in Target, we are not starting for 30 days because I want you to have enough time to shift all of your product digitally so that the community will be able to support you, your business will not fail, and your family will not suffer. Additionally, every black business that is not in the Black Chamber of Commerce, you got 30 days because the fast does not start until March the 3rd. I need Target to be on a full alert because we are operating in decency and in order. We are operating in decency and in order.
You're not operating in decency and in order because this is not what church is for. So this is not decent. This is not in order. Jesus Christ did not have to die for you to stand up there and say what you're saying. You don't have to be regenerate to hear and move with what Jamal Bryant has just said.
We are operating in decency and in order. I'm going to say it again. We're operating in decency and in order. I'm saying this before they got a new FBI chief that calls us a terrorist organization. We're doing it in decency and in order. Target, you got 40 days to pull it together because you made a commitment after the death of George Floyd that you would invest $2 billion into the black community.
Okay, and this investment offer that Target made during the Summer of Love, which I think was probably foolish for them to say it. Please understand, Jamal Bryant would rather Target put $2 billion out there into the black community. What does that mean? What does that mean? Rather than Jamal Bryant harnessing the power of the people that right there at Stillbirth Missionary Church, instead of using them to like, hey, let's start a shipping company. Hey, let's start our own credit union. Hey, let's do this, that, and the third. Rather than that, he wants Target to put $2 billion out there into the ether. I don't know what it's going to do out there, but I guess it's supposed to do something. But you could be doing things right here with what you have rather than worry about the fact that they didn't give you $2 billion. I really believe at the end of the day, it's a shell game. They want to be the first in the line to start taking from that $2 billion. That's what they want to do, in my humble opinion. Let's go.
Watch this, December of 2025. So you to pull out of that commitment in January, you are reneging to the financial commitment you made to our people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You got 40 days before we shut all of it down. We are calling all of the stock.
He's going to shut Target down. Jamal Bryant is going to shut Target down. Okay.
stakeholders to be accountable to the commitment that you made to black people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And I got naysayers saying, won't you just preach the gospel? I'm preaching the gospel. Jesus kicked over tables and used a whip to drive people out when they were out of order.
It's very easy to kick over tables. Kicking over tables requires no biblical understanding. All you got to do is kick the table. It really doesn't require anything. And that's what we're watching right here. We're watching an biblically illiterate person rants and rave and say he's teaching a gospel truth. This is not a gospel truth. Even, I mean, I've already talked about this. This is just super stupid. And, you know, shame on you, Jamal. Let's go.
Handling God's people.
Joining us right now is Ron Busby. He is the CEO, President CEO of U.S. Black Chambers Inc. Glad to have you back on the show, Ron. So in terms of this support, this assistance for black-owned businesses, there's a list that's going out. Walk us through that process.
The first way to get involved, as Pastor Bryant just discussed, is to go to fasttarget.org. It will give you information there. What we are doing in partnership with Reverend Bryant and New Birth is to give you tools that you can utilize during the fast. We're not here to tell you what not to do as much as we are here to tell you where you can support black-owned businesses, where you can spend your dollars. This is an economic agenda versus one of disobedience and disruption. We do want to disrupt what's going on at Target, but at the same time, we want to make sure and ensure that black-owned businesses are getting their access to the dollars that currently are going into the coffers of Target.
So I've mentioned this before, and I really want people to think about it. For your business to be successful, there's very few businesses that can be mono-ethnic. You need cross-pollination of ethnicities in just about every sphere. There's very few that are like, okay, you can only gear this toward and be successful. Only gear this toward a particular people group and never mix and mingle, never buy products, never get supplies and vendors in the back office or you know, whatever. There's very few. There's very few that you can say are strictly, totally mono-ethnic. And I mentioned this with the whole people were upset. People of Hispanic heritage were upset, saying that you can't go, if you voted for Trump, you can't go to Mexican restaurants. I'm like, you do realize that Mexican restaurants need white people to come to eat there. You need black folk to eat there. You need other people groups to eat there. If only Hispanic people came to your Mexican restaurant, it's going to collapse. It's not going to last. You need other people. So the same thing here. Black folk are not that populous. We're talking about 14-15% of the United States population as a whole. Sir, ma'am, your business needs a whole lot more infrastructure. Again, you're going to need your soul food restaurant, your auto detail situation. You need other people. You just can't have black people as your primary and, dare I say, your only source of income. Source of customer base. That's just not going to work. It just doesn't work. Now, I'm open down in the comments. Let me know of an industry that is strictly mono in the United States, that's strictly mono ethnic, that nobody else engages in them. I would love to know exactly what it is. Now, if you're going to tell me a restaurant in a heavily Asian part of town, okay, I probably can give you that. But let me ask you a question. Who ships the chicken to them? Who ships the shrimp to them? Where do they get their vegetables from? I bet you there are other people groups involved in it. The food chain is not, for lack of a better term, is not all mono. That's my problem. So when you say stuff like, hey, we're going to do a black-owned business, but you're still shipping with white people. You're still going through the technology that you've used with white people. So let's stop pretending like, hey, rather than maybe instead of going on these silly, juvenile, black, white, brown, yellow people arguments, maybe we should say, hey, we're Americans and let's just work together, because that's what we've been doing. But you want to resegregate ourselves and then stick your lip out and say, why is nobody supporting your black-owned business? Well, you just made it only black people. And I think you tried this during 2020 and you hoodwinked a lot of folk. A lot of people bought into it in 2020. But I think now there's going to be a lot of people that are not buying this. There are going to be a lot of people that do not push back on this. And so you're going to see far more businesses collapse because nobody's supporting them. versus, I mean, again, just think about it. The logic just isn't there. Go to your local Target, look at the hair care aisle that's geared toward Black people. Y'all ain't gonna buy all that product, because then if you go to your local beauty supply store, there's probably 10x of that. You're just not gonna buy it. There's just not that many of us to buy all of that product. It's just not gonna happen. So therein is the problem. But let's go.
So
Go ahead.
once you sign up to Target Fast, you will then be sent a toolkit. And part of that toolkit will be buyblack.us, which is the directory of Black-owned businesses across the country. If you are a consumer, you can now say, hey, I really enjoy supporting Target because of the Black brands that I was able to buy and purchase while I was in the store. You can still support those brands as well as business owners by either going directly to their website to find where those products else can be found, or going directly to that business owner and purchasing it directly. You could go to USBC to find out how you can support other Black-owned businesses outside of those that were found in Target, because we want to make this a long-term economic strategy. This is not just about the 40-day fast, but really is about changing the environment for Black businesses as well as Black consumers.
But we don't have, there's so much that needs to be done in the Black community, the community of the highly melanated, that this is like 9 steps down the road. We don't have our own stuff in order, but you're busy looking down the street. We don't even have the car. We ain't even purchased the car. Never mind that we haven't started the road trip. We haven't even purchased the car to be able to put the gas in the car, to get our family in the car to get ready to go on the road trip. Because you're talking about like 2 miles down the road. We ain't even bought the car yet. I don't see how this is going to be beneficial long term. And please remember, we have to work together. We are Americans. And this hyper segregation is hyper segregated, and then you're going to poke your lip out when nobody is supporting your business. I digress.
You or anyone else had any conversations with Target, its CEO, its board members, about their decision to pull back on their programs to add more Black-owned products to their shelves, and also that $2 billion annual commitment to spend on Black-owned businesses?
We have not. Chambers, it is our role to really not to be antagonistic to any particular product and or business, but really to be more supportive.
So wait, you haven't even talked to Target and heard Target's why they're doing that?
Black businesses. So we're going to make sure that the Black businesses that are in Target, as well as Black businesses that are not in Target, can be supported and be found by Black consumers. I think now what we're seeing is that Black people are seeing the power in their economic dollar. So as opposed to saying, hey, don't go to this store or go to that store, what we're seeing is every day there are new stores that are signing up saying, hey, we're going to remove our DE&I initiatives. And so as opposed to having lists that are good guys and bad guys, we're saying we know that Black businesses are where the rubber hits the road. We know that they have been the economic agenda and the economic motor for this country.
So I wonder how much of DEI agenda, or when you look at Target, well, everybody keeps talking about Black products. What about there's other entities that have products as well. So why don't you see other people groups crashing out for this? And you only see Black folk.
And so for us at the U.S. Black Chamber, we're making sure that we are giving people those tools to find those Black businesses and keep those dollars in our communities.
Questions from the panel. Jesse, you first.
So first of all, I like what you're doing. It sounds like it's a really good plan. I'm just curious, are there any other big box retailers that are scheduled for a similar boycott?
Target is the first one. They're one of the largest retailers in the country. Target was put on notice because of the commitments that they made before the murder of George Floyd, the commitments that they have made since the murder of George Floyd, and really their retaliation of those commitments and their reneging of those commitments.
Retaliation.
I would say that in the future, if it is successful, and I anticipate this being successful, that you will see that there will be other companies that will either follow suit in saying, okay, guys, we got to change our DE&I practices to go back to be in line with what our original commitments were. Or you will see other businesses fall in line and say, okay, we're going to now fast, or as many people are saying, boycott those retailers as well.
Notice, show me a video of white women doing this. Show me a video of any other people group that benefited from DIE that are doing this. Why is it only Black folk that are out here crashing out? I don't get it. Black folk are our biggest enemy. our biggest enemy. We want to grow, but I'm sorry, we're not going to grow mono. I just don't believe that the Black community, and I don't believe any people group can grow on their own without any interaction with another people group. I just don't believe that. Now, here in the United States, it just doesn't work. Now, you can point to other countries, and that's a different game. But here in the United States, I just don't see how and why would we want to? I don't get that part. Why do we want to not? This man right here, for crying out loud, I guarantee you, he does not live in the communities that he's talking about. I'm willing to put money down that he does not live in the quote unquote hood. He doesn't. So why do we act like there is, I guarantee you, he probably, in his community, in his neighborhood, is probably a good mix of people that are not Black. Why do we act like this? This is so disingenuous. And we are crashing out. We are going headlong off the cliff for other people groups, while we ourselves are going to be, again, once this thing is over with, we'll get put back on the shelf, rode hard, put up wet, and wait for the next outrage. I mean, we're like the fuel for the outrage machine, but any other time, we're not trying to better ourselves. This is so disingenuous.
Consumers can find them, not just in the short term, but in the long-term conditions as well.
Congo.
Thank you so much for doing this. There's been so much talk about taking multiple months to do this, and this action is really incredible. The question I have is, are you experiencing any pushback from Black suppliers to Target? Because there's always been a debate about, whether people should buy there, more of the Black suppliers there. Are you experiencing any pushback from them for this?
Currently, we have some concerns with Black suppliers that are in Target. And yes, there are going to be some businesses, and what you heard in the previous announcement from Pastor Bryant was that we are making sure that those businesses that are in Target currently have a window roughly between now and March the 3rd, March the 5th, to be able to take advantage of what we're doing here at Buy Black, so that they can move their products out off the shelves or to find other avenues to sell their products. Target is not forcing those businesses to leave. We are giving them other options, other privileges to be able to find consumers. And I believe that we are taking the necessary steps to make sure that Target feels the burden, as well as the Black consumers have the option of being able to buy those same products elsewhere other than business stores that don't appreciate our dollars.
I really am finding it difficult to believe that this man really believed what he just said. He knows that I just signed a contract for Dear Woke Christian Beard product with Target for them to buy, 9 billion units of my beard product. And he knows I can't get out of that contract. I can't just go in there and take all my stuff out and go down here to the next one and take all my stuff off the shelf. He knows that. Either A, he's being disingenuous, or B, he's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes on how this works. My beard products, following this logic, nappy beard products are going to stay on that shelf. And Target is going to send me a bill because they never were able to sell it. That's going to end up bankrupting me because they had 10,000. It was in 10,000 Target stores. Sir, you know that this is not true, but he's literally saying it as if it is. Y'all, come on. And I'm going to stop right there. I feel like this is a performative exercise. I hate that Jamal Bryant called it a fast, because scripture clearly teaches about how we should fast. But going back to the point, this is performative display that ultimately doesn't help anybody. It ultimately does not do what you want it to do. I'm going to bring in, I want to just do something different I haven't done in a while. I'm going to just bring in this passage of scripture that I alluded to earlier. So we're going to get rid of these gentlemen, and we're going to bring this in. And this is Proverbs 12:10. And I'm going to read it from the English Standard Version. And real quick, it says, whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. The mercy of the wicked is cruel. And what's missing? They're wicked. What they're doing, their inward being is off base. Their moral compass is broken. Their internal Constitution is bankrupt. They're wicked people. So they're trying to do something that's merciful. They're actually doing something that's cruel. They're ultimately doing something that hurts the people that they might want to be trying to help, because they themselves inwardly are wrong. And that's what we're looking at with this false and phony Target boycott. There's so many other things that could be done instead of worrying about boycotting Target. So many other things. So many other things. And the problem is, I'm also going to say, I think we're going to see a huge pushback against this movement from other people groups. So, and again, because black folk are the only ones crashing out for it, as I've said multiple times, but they don't benefit from it. So let me know what you think down below. Give me a comment. Let me know, do you agree or disagree? I know you will either way. I'm looking forward to jumping down there and hearing what you have to say. Thank you again for helping me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of April. We are really cruising along and we're crushing it. Thank you also for liking the videos and giving some commentary. Let me know what you all think about it. It means a lot. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace.